Let me tell you about the different types of body fat. Do you know how many of them and why some are far more dangerous than others? But first, let me give you a quick story. A few months ago, a patient came to see me. He was 55, relatively fit, and didn't look overweight at all. But he had a problem. His waistline kept expanding even though his weight didn't change much. He laughed it off, saying it was just a dad bod. But when I looked deeper, what I found was something he never expected. And that's what we are going to talk about today. The different types of body fat, how they can affect your health, and which ones you need to watch out for. So he came into my office not too concerned. He worked out occasionally, ate fairly well, and thought he was doing enough. But I noticed the shape. Most of his weight was around his midsection. He said, "Isn't that just normal for guys my age?" But I knew there was more to the story. Fat is not just fat. Therefore, I sat him down. I broke it all down for him. Let's go through it step by step. So there are 4 main types of body fat, each with different effects on your health. Understanding them is crucial if you want to optimize your health and avoid serious conditions. Number 1, subcutaneous fat. This is the fat that you can pinch. It is just underneath your skin. You find it in areas like your arms, legs, and around your belly. It makes up about 90% of your body fat. But here's the thing, subcutaneous fat is not all bad. In fact, it serves several important functions. Number 1, cushions and insulates your body. Number 2, stores energy. Number 3, releases hormones like leptin that help regulate appetite. Therefore, a moderate amount is actually protective. But when it accumulates too much, it starts putting pressure on your joints and can lead to mobility issues. Number 2, visceral fat, the silent killer. This is the fat you can't see. It is packed around your internal organs like your liver, intestines, and even your heart. Unlike subcutaneous fat, you can pinch it, but it's far more dangerous than subcutaneous fat. Why? Because the visceral fat is biologically active. It releases inflammatory cytokines and hormones that disrupt normal metabolism. Therefore, high levels are linked to serious conditions. I name a few: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, stroke, and certain cancers. But it gets even more concerning. People with normal weight on the scale can still have high visceral fat, a condition called TOFI, thin outside, fat inside. Number 3 is brown fat, the good fat. Not all fat is harmful. In fact, brown fat is sometimes called the good fat. It is mostly found in newborns, a bit in adults, usually around the neck and upper back. But what makes it good? Unlike white fat, which stores energy, brown fat burns calories to produce heat. It is packed with mitochondria, which are like tiny power plants in your cells. Therefore, the more brown fat you activate, the more calories you burn, even when you are just sitting. Recent studies suggest cold exposure and certain types of exercise can increase brown fat activity. But here's the catch. Most adults have very little of it, and increasing it is still an area of active research. Number 4 is ectopic fat, fat in wrong places. There is another category that many don't talk about, ectopic fat. This is fat that builds up in places it doesn't belong to, like your liver, something called fatty liver disease, your muscles, and even around your heart or in your heart itself. But what does it matter? Why does it matter? Because ectopic fat interferes with the function of those organs. For example, fat in your liver disrupts insulin sensitivity, leading to metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. Therefore, if you have been told you have a fatty liver or cardiac fat, that's the sign of metabolic disruption and dysfunction, not just a cosmetic issue. So back to my patient. We went through all this information. He was shocked. He had no idea that what he called a dead bod was actually a sign of visceral fat building up around his organs. But here's the good thing. He took action. We focused on high fiber diet, strengthening training, and interval cardio to target visceral fat specifically. He came back 3 months later and his waistline had shrunk. Not just because of fat loss, because he was targeting the right kind of fat. So what is the takeaway? All fat is not created equal, but understanding the difference can mean the difference between good health and chronic disease. Therefore, if you are noticing stubborn belly fat or changes in your waistline, it might be time to dig deeper, not just for aesthetics, but for your long-term health. If you want to learn how to target the right fat and optimize your health, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives like this on Dr. Noon's Power Lab. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and keep pushing for your best self. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.